Gerald Green to inbound. Harden trying to get free. Down to three, down to two. It's a three. Good! Good! He got it! James Harden, a flamethrower!
So what is up, guys? We're back. Ever since he's been acquired in 2012, James Harden has been nothing short of a generational talent for the Houston Rockets. Obviously winning MVP last year, he's made the All-Star game, I believe, 7 times at the making of this video, which is before the All-Star game in 2019. But his streak of 30-point games to me is just overrated, and I don't think he should be considered for the All-Star, or not the All-Star award, but the MVP award. Simply because it's sort of overrated. I mean, when you look at it, he's really the main option on his team. I mean, you can say that about Russ, but he's really the only person on his team who can score. Obviously, he has Clint Capella on his team, but he's injured. Chris Paul is injured, and many of his other good scorers are just not playing up to their potential, like Eric Gordon and that sort of thing. And I think the most valid criticism of his game this year has been obviously his field goal percentage, but also the free throw shooting. I'm using my site Basketball Reference to actually look at his game logs from this year, and you can see in many games his free throw percentage is very, very lackluster. He shot 36% from the field in a game in which he scored 35 points. 0.34% in a game in which he scored 37 points. He shot 39% in a game in which he scored 42%. I mean, when you're looking at his games, the one valid criticism is obviously that free throw shooting. All he does is get to the line. A lot of fouls that are called on him from like other teams, they're ghost fouls, or he's leaning into the content, which means he's basically initiating the foul with his kick move. Let me point to a game on February 9th. Yeah, we'll look at this one. February 9th against the Oklahoma City Thunder. This was actually nationally televised. It was Saturday night prime time, and they lost by 5, which was normal result. He shot 39%. He had 42 points. But listen to this. 15 free throw attempts in which he made 14%, or 14 of those free throws for 93%. Now that's just crazy to me, how someone can be called I mean, I'm not doubting his scoring ability. He's actually one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. He's, in my opinion, if he had stayed on the Thunder in 2012, they would have won a title by now. I think it's inevitable. You don't have 3 players who have gone on to win MVP and just not win a title. Or you could also make a case that Russell and KD were holding him back. But I believe that James Harden doesn't deserve the MVP award this year simply because he's not necessarily as dominant as the other players. I mean, he has a method to his madness, if that makes sense. He knows what to do to get fouls called, and he's kind of mastered his craft. If you look at someone like LeBron, they have many ways they can score. Obviously, this year he struggled with his free throw shooting, but LeBron is a good jump shooter. He can take it to the hole. He's expanded his game in the past couple of years to 3-pointers. Or someone like Russell Westbrook, and he's sort of a ball hog, but we can use him in this example. He is a pure scorer. He can take it to the hole. I know some games he kind of shoots himself out of it, but he can just score better. I think Harden needs to work on getting less to the line and showing the world that he's a good, pure scorer like that. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. These are just my short thoughts on the argument for Harden for MVP. Personally, I think Giannis Antetokounmpo should win it, or maybe a wild card. I'm trying to think. I think LeBron obviously should win that every year. But Paul George is looking like a very favorable candidate this year, and I'm excited to see how it goes. Thank you.